If you've ever been afraid of being judged when you speak, I made this podcast for you because I've been there too. Even though I've spent decades guiding others to speak and show up with confidence, but I procrastinated with creating this podcast because I was afraid of being judged. Afraid that if I didn't show up perfectly with great lighting, a beautiful backdrop, and polished delivery, it would affect my credibility. I imagine people would say, "What? She's an experienced broadcaster and her videos look like that?" So I did nothing for years. Has this happened for you? If you're a CEO, senior leader, business owner, or high performer who wants to lead with greater confidence, presence, and authenticity, this podcast is for you. I'll be speaking with senior leaders, founders, and visionaries, people who have achieved massive success in their industry. They've been on big stages, made bold decisions, but also faced big fears. You'll hear their stories of fears, failures, resilience, and transformation. This first episode, I'll go first. And actually, this is making me quite nervous because I'm not comfortable with vulnerability or opening up. And this fear that's keeping me small is my inner critic and perfectionism. I first thought about doing a podcast way back in 2021. I kept asking myself, what am I going to talk about? Who wants to listen to me? I had strong imposter syndrome. Do you sometimes hear that voice of doubt, that inner critic that says, who are you to do this? Other people are better than you. In the last few years, I've been researching this and found out that high-achieving leaders have this self-doubt. We just get a bit better at hiding it from people. I didn't want to do a podcast just because I was a radio DJ or TV presenter. I didn't think that qualified me to do a great job at a podcast. Plus, I didn't want to be additional noise. So I tucked that idea away and, like a novice entrepreneur, allowed myself to be distracted by many shiny new objects. Until last year, at a private workshop with my mentor, Dan Locke. I said I've been thinking about a podcast, and he told me to look at my advantage.
But see, you would circle back to your questions. How do you differentiate? Yeah. I'm looking at your advantage, your TV background. So anything that people, if you say it's you want to interview somebody, people will say, "Oh, this is not just some YouTuber. This is like kind of like a celebrity, right? You want to interview me?" You would pretty much get through to anybody. Your show would have so much credibility, and your show would give you the credibility for all the training, speaking, and all those things. Like directly, boom.
And that was the shift in perspective I needed to move forward. I kept looking at my media experience as the high expectations that I couldn't live up to without the resources of a TV station. The very thing that held me back mentally, my media experience, was the very thing that's my advantage. That's the thing that differentiates me. It's always easier for someone outside to see it, and maybe you could see it too. And that's the thing about the inner critic. It blinds us to our own strengths. So this is a habit I'm going to release by shifting gently. What I do now is breathe, pause, and give it some space. We can't be objective when we're in that voice or emotion. For me, it was, what? She's an experienced broadcaster and her videos look like that? I can't even say it's going to look bad or lousy because my videos will not look bad or lousy. It's just that it won't look like a full TV production with millions of dollars of crew and equipment. It doesn't need to. We all like authenticity and some rawness to create a connection instead of that distance. So I realized I'm not here to prove anything. I'm not here to perform. I'm here to invite leaders to share their insights and wisdom and value with us, and invite you to learn with me. This podcast isn't about perfection. It's about showing up despite the fear. My fear of not coming up to that high standard I expect for myself, and that fear of looking less than perfect. So a big lesson for me is, if I want to get better at anything, I need a mentor, and not someone who's just a few steps ahead. I want to choose carefully because otherwise we could learn the wrong thing, and unlearning is even harder. Changing bad habits is so difficult. So I choose mentors who've done it for 2 decades because that's deep expertise and craftsmanship. Plus, they made all the mistakes over the evolving times so that I don't have to. Not just that, I choose mentors who've also coached and mentored others for 10 years. Otherwise, they might teach you to do it the way they did because of their limited mentoring experience. And that's not effective unless you want surface level lessons. Really good mentors can see your strengths and adapt a customized path for you to reach your ultimate goals. We all have different personalities and obstacles. One size coaching formula doesn't fit. If this is the first time you're meeting me, let me introduce myself. I'm Georgina, and I've been in the media industry for 30 years. I was a radio DJ and then a TV presenter for Channel V and ESPN Star Sports that broadcast across Southeast Asia, India, and the Middle East. I've also managed top radio stations in Singapore. And then my portfolio expanded to managing A-list celebrities in TV and radio. I've created marketing campaigns to amplify their brand and coach high performers to shine in the spotlight. But here's something most people don't know about me. You see, I'm very comfortable guiding others to shine. Interviewing superstars, that was easy. Helping someone else to own the room, great. But when the spotlight is on me, I feel so self-conscious. It's different when I'm presenting on TV, radio, or on stage because the focus is always on the program or the stars. But at a dinner table, when someone asks me a question and all eyes turn on me, I feel myself freezing. You see, I became famous as a teenager and didn't have proper guidance on how to handle that. Several people betrayed my confidence, and so I became closed and very private. And that's my struggle with vulnerability. For me, being bold, decisive, confident, driven, that comes easy. But not shielding myself with competence, that's the challenge. Being comfortable with vulnerability and opening up is going to be a process. And in the last few years, I've shared some of my challenges like burnout, imposter syndrome, and toxic work culture. I think I'm slowly getting better at being vulnerable. So this podcast explores fully what it means to speak like a leader. More importantly, this lets me connect with my community, high-achieving, growth-oriented leaders who have that judgmental inner critic. In the episodes ahead, I'm going to share insights on public speaking, mastering your presence, and amplifying your prominence. So if you've ever wondered how to own a room without overthinking it, if you know it's crucial to be visible but struggle with putting yourself out there, if you want to elevate how you speak and how you show up, then this podcast is for you. And I invite you to subscribe. Come along, because this journey isn't just mine, it's ours and it's yours. So let's hear from leaders and learn to speak like a leader.